Hello everyone and welcome to a bit of a side episode to our normal Dimwits Let's Plays. Yeah, I've made this, which is pretty. Basically, earlier on today I saw a Mythbusting episode by xisumavoid, and he was trying to determine the best, most efficient and fastest way to get a minecart from any place to another place, using as you can see here, using as few of the powered rails as possible. When is it too inefficient, i.e. every single one being a powered rail, to when does it become very, very efficient but way too slow. And after watching his Mythbusters episode, I felt that it wasn't being done quite right. Not the way I'd want to do it, let's say, because at the beginning of he would have just the one powered rail to start off with, and what this showed was quite a reasonable difference between each one of these. And I don't know about anyone else, but I normally start with 3 powered rails to start with, which gets you up to full speed, and then these give you a couple of ticks of speed boost if it's needed, if you've lost any of that speed. And I felt that doing this would allow you to have a much more efficient design, meaning you could have far fewer powered rails in between and still keep to the same sort of speeds. So what we've got here is, we start at the very beginning here, which is entirely powered all the way through. Then we have one gap between each powered rail, then 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way until 20. This has 20 between each one. This one has 40 between each one, and this one has 50 between each one. And I wanted to see if we could find a happy medium. Now, probably because I'm not very good at redstone, I couldn't get these to all start at the same time, because I do need to put these in between, and they add a tick every time, unfortunately. So you will see right from the get-go there's a minute difference between all of these. You'll see exactly where this is. All of these ones will be slightly behind these ones right at the beginning, and then the same here. You'll see a little difference, and it does. Luckily, it makes such a tiny difference. I'm thinking probably thousandths of a second, maybe hundredths, but it really isn't. Even over a long distance like this, it's not going to make any difference. These are 200 long. Every single one of these is 200 long, starting from here. So from this point, it's 200 long. So I just wanted to. So I've spent hours and hours setting this up, because I don't use MC Edit. This was all done by hand, and I think I've come to a conclusion. So I would want you guys to see. So I'm just going to set these off, and immediately you can see there's a very slight difference. This is all down to those tick differences that I was talking about. That slight pause is just because of the server that these are saving on, so no problem there. Now you'll notice straight away here, the one that's got 50 is falling behind. This is a 50 block difference. Now the 41 is now starting to fall behind, but all of these are in exactly the same point as they were right at the beginning. So everything up to 20 blocks makes no difference. They all go at exactly the same speed. So the only ones, this one comes in around 1.8 seconds later, and this one comes in around 6 seconds later. So these do make a big difference. So definitely 40 is starting to push at being too much. 20 runs at exactly the same speed as having every single rail powered. So I'm guessing that the most efficient way to do it would be somewhere between 20 and 40. So 25 to 30 would probably be my guess at the most efficient, yet keeping up the same pace, which is big news to me, because I don't know if you've seen in my Let's Plays, I tend to put about 5 between them. So yeah, that's not needed. So if you need to build a long rail and you need to be careful with how much gold and redstone you're using, then at 20, because you're still getting the same speed as you would if it was entirely powered, you could easily put 20 to 30 gap and not notice any difference in the times whatsoever. That's all I had. I just thought it would be something a little different, a bit interesting, kind of myth-busting the Mythbusters a little bit, just purely because Xuma's setup was different to how I would expect people to set up their minecart, so I wanted to put it in what I considered more of a real-world environment. Anyway, that's it for me. Hit like if you liked it, and subscribe if you loved it. Thanks very much. Goodbye.